Armenia's defence ministry tweeted these videos on Sunday morning. It says they show Azeri tanks that have just been destroyed in the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh. Within a few hours, the Armenians said 15 drones, 10 tanks and 4 helicopters had been destroyed.
Early in the morning, around 7 a.m., the Azerbaijani forces launched a large-scale aggression, including missile attacks along the line of contact with Artsakh, Nagorno-Karabakh, and they are targeting civilian population and civilian infrastructure.
Government leaders in Azerbaijan condemned what they called propaganda and said a counter-offensive operation had been launched after Azeri forces were attacked. Nagorno-Karabakh is an internationally recognised part of Azerbaijan, but is controlled by Armenian forces. The region has declared itself independent and relies on Armenia for support. In an emergency parliamentary session, the president of Nagorno-Karabakh declared martial law, as well as military mobilisation for men over 18.
Most of all, the people of Nagorno-Karabakh want peace. We've already said that the responsibility for any resumption of the war will rest with the government of Azerbaijan today, tomorrow and in the future.
Russia's foreign ministry said the situation has sharply deteriorated and it had reports of intense shelling from both sides. The Kremlin, along with the EU and France, are calling for an immediate ceasefire.
The frequency of escalations, even if they are controlled, are suggesting that we are really entering a very dangerous zone where it can definitely get out of control, especially when new players, regional players, are being dragged into this.
The dispute emerged out of the 1991 collapse of the Soviet Union when Armenian separatists seized the territory. 30,000 died in fighting. In 1994, a ceasefire was agreed, but talks to resolve the dispute stalled. Nearly 2 decades later, tensions rose again in July, with the worst fighting since 2016.
In the last year or so, the Armenian leader, Nikol Pashinyan, has been saying he no longer wants to negotiate according to the formula that people like me had been trying to bring together between Azerbaijan and Armenia. And he said Nagorno-Karabakh is always going to be part of Armenia. That has really ticked off very severe negative emotions in Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan has repeatedly vowed to recapture Nagorno-Karabakh by force, and Armenia has vowed to defend the territory. While it is disputed which side moved first on Sunday morning, it's clear both remain determined to claim Nagorno-Karabakh as their own. Charlotte Ballas, Al Jazeera.
Well, we've spoken to officials from both Armenia and Azerbaijan. Hikmet Hashiev is an assistant to the president of Azerbaijan and the head of foreign policy department of the presidential administration. He says Azerbaijan's aim is to recapture the areas occupied by Armenia.
30 years we are suffering from the Armenians' military occupation and aggression, and our civilians are becoming target of Armenian armed forces, and we have 1 million ethnically cleansed Azerbaijanis from the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. And therefore, Azerbaijan armed forces are taking with counter-actions and counter-attacks to first repel Armenia's provocations and further acts of aggression against Azerbaijan and enforce Armenia to peace. Because a peaceful negotiation process is also failing because of the deliberate and the destructive attitude of Armenia. Currently, we don't have a real negotiation that's mediated by the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs. And therefore, here first is an ensure security and safety of Azerbaijani civilians who are living in close in proximity to the line of contact area. In the meantime, to ensure liberation of Azerbaijan's occupied lands from Armenia's occupation that lasts more than 30 years. So there are 4 UN Security Council resolutions demand immediate, unconditional and full withdrawal of Armenian troops from the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. So far, it's not also implemented by Armenia. And they continue to attack Azerbaijani civilians. And Azerbaijani refugees and IDPs, they have a right to return back to their sovereign lands. Because of Armenia's occupation, they can't return back.
And the Armenian Foreign Minister Zurab Natsakanyan told Al Jazeera that his country will do whatever it takes to defend the region.
Nagorno-Karabakh will be defending every single inch of their land and of their security, and Armenia will be the guarantor. These threats of force have been very usual in the parlance of the Azerbaijani government and the regime in Baku. The latest was in the United Nations General Assembly, and they have just brought this into a practical implementation once again. Once again, they will be repelled. This morning has been the proof of the intentions of Azerbaijan to push for their maximalist positions in an aggressive manner, to put our people at risk. We have been consistently insisting that at the heart of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is the security of our people. And they today have once again brought to prove that we have to care about the security of our compatriots, the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, who have been firm on the defense of their freedom, of their security against this aggression. And the aggression is pre-planned, not just by Azerbaijan, but with the massive support of Turkey, which has its military presence and which has been showing its unilateral support and aggressive approach towards Armenia. This is very, very disturbing, and it's a massive escalation, consequences for which Azerbaijan bears full responsibility.
Well, our correspondent Robin Tristee-Walker is monitoring developments from Tbilisi in neighbouring Georgia.
We're still hearing about ongoing fighting. The figures are, of course, fluid as well. We know of at least 10 Armenian military personnel dead. Azerbaijan also admitting casualties and also civilian dead on both sides. So it's looking like in just a single day of fighting so far, at least as many people killed as we had seen over several days when there was an outbreak of conflict in July. But this is fighting of a different category. This is taking place across along the whole line of control. This is the area on the edge of Nagorno-Karabakh territory with Azerbaijan, controlled on the one side by Armenian forces who mostly control the upper slopes, the higher positions, and Azeri forces positioned along that line of control. And also the Armenians are saying that artillery fired by the Azeris has struck positions not just on that line of control, but also within the Karabakh region, including Stepanakert, the capital, which makes this a whole different category of seriousness in terms of this fighting.